Hello, and welcome to Cass Loves Tech. So, a couple of weeks ago, I had the privilege of having a legal tech jam session with Confido Legal, and we spent some time talking about standard operating procedures for law firms. How should law firms determine when it's time to have standard operating procedures? What are some things to focus on when it comes to standard operating procedures? And I gave as much information as I could in the time that we had. But one of the things that stuck out to me while we were having the conversation is how the client onboarding process is just a major component that should be in your standard operating procedures and should be accompanied by some key things inside of your systems. So today's video is going to be spending some time unpacking that. And I'm going to actually start by talking about the standard operating procedures involving client onboarding and what that looks like, and then I'll go through the CRM and show you a couple of tools that you can use to implement in your CRM a client onboarding experience based on some standard operating procedures that you may have set up or consider setting up. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So when I think about client onboarding, I think about the components that come into play for the firm as well as for the client. So for the firm, one of the things that comes into play when you're onboarding a client is the engagement letter, representation letter, or retainer agreement, whatever you call it for your particular firm. That's one of the things that is essential to get the client to be onboarded. Another item would be the invoice, and the last item would be this matter-specific intake form. So all three of those things are really essential when it comes to onboarding the client and moving them through your client journey. So when it comes to standard operating procedures, what does that look like for your firm? When I'm consulting with clients and I'm conducting system audits with my clients, I'm unpacking those three concepts and getting a very detailed understanding of what the attorney's goal is when it comes to each one of those things. When it comes to the engagement letter, we're unpacking, okay, where's your engagement letter? Where does that live? Is it on paper? Is it a PDF? Should we make it electronic so that it's easier for you to easily send it out? And when it comes to the invoice, is it a flat rate invoice? Is it a retainer that needs to be replenished? If it is a retainer that needs to be replenished, how often is that retainer going to be replenished? Is that reflected inside of your agreement? Do we need to modify your agreement so what actually the client needs to be made aware of when it comes to payment? These are all things that should be flushed out in your standard operating procedures so that yourself as well as the members of your firm are able to fall in line and just come in and help right from the beginning. So when I'm helping the firm, I am making sure that that engagement letter is electronic inside of their case management system, because that's really the best way to ensure that we can have it to be sent out relatively quickly. We can probably even set up an automation so that it's automatically sent out based on a trigger, and we are able to keep a better account of where that actually lives for the client inside of their particular matter once they're converted, and all of the things are kept all in one place. The same thing goes for the invoice. If the invoice is sent out electronically, then we're able to see exactly when payment is received. And based on when payment is received, we can utilize the system to have it trigger some kind of workflow or automation based on when payment is received. And the same thing goes for the intake form. And when it comes to the intake form, especially if it's for a matter specific in nature, that should also be electronic and inside of the case management system so that you are able to do different things with that particular information. So if it's something where you're able to create documents and assembly documents at a later date from that information, the intake form makes that possible. So if you haven't identified your standard operating procedures surrounding client onboarding, I hope that by us talking through some of this right now, you're starting to think about what those things are. And from the client's perspective, so if you're having your engagement letter and your invoice and your intake form all electronic in your case management system, in my opinion, enhances the client experience. It gives the client a way of just having everything all in one place. And oftentimes the intake forms requires the client to put in certain information that's sensitive to the client. We're talking about social security numbers, we're talking about bank statements, credit card statements, different things like that, depending on the practice area that you are supporting. It all comes into play. And, the client having comfort and feeling at ease and trusting that the firm is going to keep their information secure and protected is honestly paramount and something that I'm sure all attorneys and firms strive for. So by keeping all of the information inside of the case management system allows the client to have peace of mind knowing that they're going to be working with a firm that keeps their sensitive data protected. Now I want to go ahead and just walk us through what the systems could be capable of to be able to implement some of these things that we've been talking about so far. All right, so taking you right into the CRM to get started. For this example, I'm going to be using the Lawcus CRM, and I have gone ahead and created the workflow already. So here we have it, our client onboarding workflow. You'll see that how I had the trigger set up is based on a matter stage being moved. And you can set this up any way that you want, but I figured the easiest way would be once the client is moved to a specific portion or phase within the pipeline, that then triggers the engagement letter being sent to them. So what I did was go ahead and did it based on a move to stage, and then I set up that stage to be ready for next steps. From that ready for next steps, it then will search the system for the lead, and once they're able to find the lead from there, it will then send the e-sign document to the client and then create the invoice for the client. And just so that you see what that looks like, here is an email that was sent to a client to have them review and sign the engagement letter. And so you see that the same information that's inputted here inside of the engagement letter step is then also accessible on the user side as well. So that information, whatever you put inside of the message here, will then show up on the client side here. And this is what that looks like. So once the client receives the signed document or the document to e-sign, the system will also then create the invoice. From there, I created a second automation, and the second automation is set up based on the document being signed. So once the document is signed by the client, the system will then search for the client and then convert the client to a matter inside of the system, and then invite the client into the client portal. From there, the client will be able to see their invoice and they can then go ahead and pay that invoice. So this is pretty much the way that you can set up a workflow to be able to onboard a client inside of a CRM. Another example as well that I'm going to show you is inside of the Lawmatics CRM. One second. All right, so here we are inside of the Lawmatics portal, and to be able to create or set up this automation, you would just need to make sure that you go into marketing and then automations. From there, I have already created a client onboarding automation for us here. The entry condition is actually going to be the stage that says ready to proceed, very similar to what we did inside of Lawcus. And from there, we are going to add in the step to create signature. Unfortunately, the version of Lawmatics that I have access to does not give me the ability to send billing. But the very next thing that would happen is you would hit the plus sign here and you would see the option to create an invoice. Once you see the option to create the invoice, you're going to go ahead and click on that. Once you click on create the invoice, you're going to see something that comes up on the screen that allows you to input who you're billing to, and the person that you'd be billing to is the person that is from the previous step. So just like how you see in this step here that it's the automation target, that's the client, that's the same thing that you're going to do inside of the billing section. And the invoice date is going to be the date that you choose. The payment terms are going to be the payment terms that are applicable to your firm, and then the target bank account would be also applicable to your firm. And the invoice type would either be are going to be the invoice types that you actually set up inside of your invoice in settings. So when you're inside of the settings area of Lawmatics, you want to make sure that you are identifying the different invoice types, because that's going to become crucial when you're setting up this automation. If it's going to be a retainer, like we've been doing in this example, you'll want to make sure that you select the retainer option, and from there, any notes or terms you want to add to the bottom, you would add it to the bottom under the create invoice section. And you'll also want to make sure that whoever's associated with it, whoever's associated with the invoice is also identified under the staff section, and the activity type is going to come into play based on the time tracking and expenses area, or whatever other custom activity types you select inside of Lawmatics. Lawmatics does have a dedicated page that walks through this if you are having some trouble setting up the particular invoice piece under the automation. I just wanted to make sure that I showed you two different systems and the way that you're able to set up invoices and engagement letters inside of these systems to be able to begin the client onboarding. The last piece of the onboarding process is going to be the intake piece, and this is going to be a matter specific intake form that you would need to send out to that client. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that automation up, and then that's going to take care of the CRM walkthroughs for how to onboard a client. Bear with me here. Okay, so the last piece of this is going to be sending the actual intake form to the client to complete for their matter specific situation, right? So we're inside of Lawcus again, and I am now showing you once the matter is converted, which if you remember from the step that we covered here, where the client has the signed has signed the document, we search for the client, we convert the client to a matter, and then we invite the client to the client portal. From this step here, the client is converted to a matter, right? So the PNC is converted to a matter here on step 3. So from step 3, once that automation has completely or the workflow has completely went through, that will then generate a matter for that particular client, right? So the last step of this puzzle is now to send out the intake form. So a new matter is created. We saw from the previous step that that is when the matter is converted from the e-sign document. Then we send an email to the client to have the client complete an intake form. And you'll see here that we've already gone ahead and set that up. And this is the email the client will get, basically letting them know that they need to go ahead and move forward with completing the document, and then hit save. And that's pretty much everything that you would need to do to set up a client onboarding experience inside of your CRM system. Obviously, if you're not using the Lawcus CRM, it's going to be a little bit complicated to follow this step. And if you're not using Lawmatics, it's the very same thing. You won't be able to follow these steps. I am curious to know if you are already setting up these types of things and how it's working out for you. Please let me know and leave a comment below if you found this video helpful, or if you have any questions about any specific steps that I have taken place inside of this video. Definitely please subscribe to the channel and like this video if you want to see more content like this. And as always, if you ever want to get in touch with me to have a one-on-one conversation briefly to discuss some of the things that were discussed here, you can click the link below to book a consultation with me, and I will spend some time talking through whatever your actual issue is. Until next time, I hope that you continue thriving with your systems and you're having an amazing day. See you again soon.